All right, so have you guys heard about what's going on in Arkansas?
No, what's going on in Arkansas, man?
Okay, so Arkansas has completely disabled Pornhub in the entire state.
Arkansas did that too. A couple states have done that now.
Yeah. They made a ruling apparently the other day, and apparently Pornhub is banned from Arkansas at this second time.
Why?
So
they're all gonna have to go back to just like fucking their nieces and shit.
Well, okay, there was that weird thing that we may mention where it's like Pornhub had a case where they took down all of their non-verified accounts and all that shit because it turned out there's a lot of child porn, there was a lot of revenge porn, there was a lot of really fucked up shit that was going on Pornhub at the time. What's up, Tyler? We're doing another fucking episode of this thing. We got Will and James Medearis on here. We're fucking hanging out. We're talking about how porn got blocked in Arkansas. Pornhub got blocked in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Pornhub got...
It's crazy.
Arkansas got cock blocked. They got Arkansas.
It's probably because of all the insane...
The question is how long until they release porn again, but censored like Jack.
Release the porn. Like it's a dam with just all the porn you ever wanted. And then at the bottom is just fucking horny guys. Give me it. They're more like, God dang it, give me this goddamn porn. I want to watch trans people fuck each other. And then go be a pastor or something.
So what's the deal with all the stepson, stepdaughter, stepsister porn? Why is that so popular?
I've noticed that. Like, that's not really something I'm into.
I don't know. I feel like slowly the world's just understanding how dark and weird people are, right?
I mean,
just a slow divulge into the...
After the pandemic, it seemed like.
People
were locked up together and they were fucking...
like
real close and shit. I mean, it's a dark thing to say, but it's a fact. Makes it great.
No, that sounds good. That sounds correct. Yeah. COVID dealt a weird psychological blow to us as people. To where now we just want to fuck our step everything's, I guess.
Step anything. One, that's just what makes it legal. Otherwise, it'd be taboo more. But
that is.
You ever had a hot step sibling?
No.
Really? Your parents are divorced. They remarried.
They remarried each other, and then they would go and do secretive shit with other people, and then lie and just do all this weird dark shit. And none of it was like nice. Like, oh, we got married happily with other people, and. No, it was like, I was seeing a guy in Omaha, Nebraska. And then your dad found out on the laptop. I was emailing him. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. And then she's like, have a good day at school.
Oh,
my mom doesn't sound like that at all, by the way.
It doesn't sound like the lady from Monsters, Inc.
What is it?
Doesn't sound like the lady from Monsters, Inc. That's like...
I got my eyes on you, my son. Never go to Omaha.
Wachowski, don't ever go to Omaha.
You'll find strange men from the nation of Omaha. It was an Omaha guy in Omaha, Nebraska.
That's not a real tribe, is it?
The Omaha, yeah. They're based in Omaha, Nebraska.
The Omaha.
He was
Omaha.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call him out. He's a real big guy, actually. Not even he got like there was some girl he was bringing around as his niece to all these powwows, and then after a while he was like, "Hey, this is my girlfriend," but no one thinks it was like it was like some weird shit. I don't know, but
did you approve of it?
Well, no, he got publicly shamed and shit about it. Pretty gnarly.
Well, how old was he?
But that was the guy. I think I'm just talking shit in the Omaha guy from Nebraska.
You're just calling out this guy in Omaha.
But I haven't said his name. Yeah. And you know what? I met him. Actually, a stand-up guy. Pretty nice guy. Other than that whole situation.
You said that about Lovely Despise.
What? That they're pretty stand-up people.
You said that about the bear.
Well,
guy.
You know what? Once you come to know somebody, and you sit down with them, it turns out you got to stand up.
It's true. Sometimes you got to stand up for yourself, and that makes people respect you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I always liked about you, man. We didn't like each other at first, and then you
stood
up for yourself. Yeah, we used to not be friends at all.
I remember that time. We were actually living here at that time.
So the apartment that we're sitting in right now, it used to have a cardboard sign on it. And the cardboard sign on it had a list of house rules, right? And I don't remember what
number
the rules
11.
were. But rule number, what was it, 11?
Mm-hmm.
So rule number 11 was no cold panel, and it had a drawing of me with a Ghostbusters no symbol through it. And I still came over all the time, fucking anyways, and it was still an issue all the time, and it was still a fucking problem. I was still getting kicked out constantly, but I didn't care, and now it's my motherfucking apartment. So fuck y'all. Go eat a dick, I'm gonna put a no fucking Mason Gray sign one of these days. And then what the weirdest part is, Hunter, you fucking signed it, and then later on, you made everyone sign, and later on, you're like, I don't agree to rules. I'm an anarchist. Fuck that. I didn't sign that shit. Fuck you. I didn't do
anything I scribe is nil.
It's now considered void.
Will actually used to live in this very apartment. How would you describe staying in this apartment, Will?
I actually did not live here. It was James that lived here.
Well, you slept here a couple times.
Yeah, I remember before we were living at the old trailer. Me and James and Bryce stayed here for a couple days, and I think at that point it was just Hunter and then Sean Sundown and then Alec Perry.
Oh, describe that you have a twin brother too.
Yeah,
So this is Will and James. This is one of the kids we've been talking about. Him and his brother are some of our best friends.
Legendary.
No, they're legends. They're local Tahlequah legends. Okay, you might see them driving down a Chevy Spark at 5:30 p.m. with their hair all fucked up, getting ready to get some fucking Pepsi or whatever you guys drink. I don't know what you guys drink anymore. Some cereal.
Green apple Gatorade and cereal.
Bro, I love it. Green apple Gatorade is surprisingly hard to find.
Yeah, it is. I remember there was a time where you could not find it.
I remember the drought.
2021. That was around when I first started living at the trailer we live at now. The trailer me and Hunter are living at. You could not find
Check
anywhere.
Express, no Green apple Gatorade.
No Green apple Gatorade.
Or at Love's or anywhere.
Bro, that shit is the elixir.
You know what kind of Gatorade I'm fucking with? Everyone makes fun of me for work. The cucumber lime. The pepino limon. That's the shit. That hydrates you. I don't give a fuck.
It feels like you're I should be drinking this, but I want a green apple Gatorade.
No, that's too artificial. That's too much, man. No, that gives me a shit.
I
want cucumber and pepino limon.
Yeah, it's so cold.
The weird false apple taste that I'm tasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost tastes like an apple, but not.
But you know it's deep down some chemical bullshit.
Yeah.
Fucking shit, dude. Speaking of chemical bullshit, what the fuck did we eat last night?
What did we eat last night?
Let's see a little bit of context. So, me and Mason went to Turk Fest.
And you and who else?
This kid named Josh Beck, I really don't like.
He's older than us.
But he's 30, yeah.
But he's also 12 years old.
He's a 30-year-old, 12-year-old motherfucking piece of shit. And then our friend Chris Scott, who is on thin ice, but he's my friend still. And we're out there, and we're at Turk Fest 2023 here in Tahlequah. And what it was is that you would think it'd be a Tahlequah event, but it was actually a whole bunch of hippies from Oklahoma City is what the fuck it was.
That's what it seemed
like.
It
was majority, it was it did not feel like home at all. It felt like something completely fucking different. And we went out there, and Mason was really, first thing I ate was, I had the pulled pork, burger, because for $9, and I was trying to get, I want to go to a festival, I'm real stingy with my money, I'm okay, I want to spend as little money as I can to get as much protein, as much fucking food in my stomach. I ate that, and then we still kept fucking smoking weed and drinking. And so then we're out there looking at stands, and then you see these random Asian ladies out there with these fucking booths, right?
Jindy.
It was called
That's
Jindy.
Bro, it smelled so good.
And it smelled delicious, okay? And so we go up there, and I'm all they have is just have meat on a stick, bro. And that's a good sign, is when you see people of different cultures having just meat on a stick with no explanation.
And they specialize in one thing.
They have one. That's all they have.
I noticed that in China a lot too, though, right? They have a guy who'll be my family for 7 generations make boiled duck soup, and they're the best at it because for 300 years
they have a fucking.
The Wu family's been making boiled duck soup. So it better be fucking great.
Yeah.
And so these people at Jindy.
Went ahead and Mason's like, can you spot me on something? And I'm like, man, I don't know what this is. I don't know if there's vegetables on this. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to try it. I go up there. I just see meat on a stick. I'm like, how much is this? I don't even ask what it is. I'm like, how much is this? $4. I'm like, okay. I go up there, pay for 2. I get him one. I get one.
Some kind of sauce.
And then we eat there for a second. I take 2 bites out of it. And I take a bite of it. It tasted like the sauce they put, that if you made a Slim Jim out of. like good,
no,
like
so
seasoning.
much better.
It was a good jerky.
A little sweeter.
It
The
was-
teriyaki almost kind of.
Yeah, there was definitely teriyaki in it. It was definitely like a fucking good taste, but that's what I was thinking. It was like a good Slim Jim, is what I was thinking. Like the whole.
That's such an American fucking.
Whatever.
This Asian food has been cooked for 300 years. It's like a good Slim Jim. It reminds me of this highly processed meat.
This processed mechanically separated chicken is what it's called.
You open the nib and you just pull the rest out with your teeth. Slide it out of the
I
tube.
take a fucking bite out of it, and then I'm starting to
great.
chew on it, and it's like, this is a little chewy. And then Nathan's making jokes like, yeah, I don't know if this is a cat or what the fuck, but I'm like, oh shit! And then I'm eating it for a second, like, oh, this is so good, this is probably cat, this is probably cat.
I said, I don't even care if it's cat.
That's what you
this
said.
is the greatest thing I've ever had.
And so then I go back, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is beef stick. And then I was like,
we thought it was chicken.
It's like, this is not, we thought it was pork or chicken.
Pork,
or
chicken, something. And they said it's another animal.
It's beef. It was beef.
Which did not believe to be beef.
So then
At first I thought I was being racist. But it comes now, the more we found out, the more of a gray area it turned to be.
It turned out that the meat was gray, the situation was gray, and the night was gray. Both in tone and in fucking weather.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I went there, so I went to Turp Fest, and I immediately started drinking because I'm like, this is a fucking nightmare. What the fuck did I walk into? And then I'm like,
describe
Mason,
what Chris and Josh did as soon as we got out
you
the
describe
car.
it.
Well, yeah. We pull up and I had previously constructed a little bamboo bend over little tent just to kind of chill out next to. I kind of left it out there, and so sorry, Diamond Head, but y'all can clean it up or just hang out in it if y'all want.
Is it yours?
Oh, this beer?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not my beer.
Okay.
Oh shit. Oh, as soon as we get out of the fucking car, and I bring these hooligans along, and these two, Josh and Chris, just very
Describe their vibe. Not everyone knows them.
God, it's like horny 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
But give them like 20 years of isolation and porn. And
a lot of demented free time.
Yep.
And a lot of fucking lotion.
Just a lot of a lot of
lotion.
I'm trying to think of something.
That's a good one.
A lot of lotion and
Ash in the wax. Did you just ash in the wax?
I just ashed in the wax.
So
I know,
what is the fucking
I don't
thing?
know what it was. That seemed like an ashtray.
Did you ash in the wax last time and then you blinded on me? Because I'm kind of starting to think that now.
I feel like it's the first time I've ever done that.
No, I'm kind of starting to think maybe you fucking do that sometimes.
I frame you for having
I'm kind of starting to think that's what you fucking do. You go defensive and shit. You ash people's wax.
No, yeah, that's my little side. Like, this is now the joke's coming to fruition. After I've seen you, I've smoked like 40 grams of wax with you that each had a little bit of cigarette ash in it. Each time I smoke,
better than dog hair.
Like, actually, I would way rather smoke that than I smoked in this apartment. The person behind us, Disney. That I don't know that. I think his last name actually was Disney.
We're outing drug dealers on the fucking. We're outing drug dealers on the. Is that where we're name dropping drug dealers from?
Okay, your name is the same as like Pixar. His last name is Pixar. You know what I mean? That's why I feel a little. Like, I'm not like calling out T-Bone on 4th Street. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
his name is Warner Bros. Studios.
Yeah,
his name was MGMT.
And this is the most basic white kid you're ever gonna meet. He's not a drug dealer anymore. He's doing something with his life because his parents paid for them to go to college here. And he's probably actually having a great life. He had a nice girlfriend, a husky, and all of his weed had husky hair in it, and we smoked it.
And wasn't he like really, really good at like Super Smash Bros or something?
Yeah. Oh, he's a professional super. Yeah, he would go. Okay, now we might be able to find him.
Yeah.
But you know what? People can be like, "Hey, did you smoke weed and sell it to teenagers behind you in an apartment like 20 years ago?" What are people gonna out this guy? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a professional Super Smash Bros. Player. He would go to tournaments in Tulsa and Muskogee. He was like, "Yeah, I just won like $10,000." I was like, "What the?" He's like, "Yeah, I was Bowser."
I was Bowser the whole time.
I don't know what the fuck, dude.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude, I just Bowsered them bitches out.
I'm pretty badass at Smash Brothers.
Damn,
Are you play the new one?
Well, then where's your $10,000?
Well, once I get out there,
This guy at your same apartment complex. You know what though? If I hadn't have known him and you had like started telling me you're gonna start entering tournaments and shit,
that's what Tyler does.
Super Smash Bros.
Not for Smash
Now I'm
Bros.
super
Right.
supportive when I hear people do that. I'm like, I'm a fucking pop dealer.
Hey, what the fuck? Who's calling me?
Fucking James.
Hey, no, tell him. Okay, let him on. Put on speaker.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, James.
Hey, you're on speaker.
Hey, do you need a ride?
No, I'm actually doing a podcast right now with
your
Mason
friends.
and Hunter.
Where?
At my house.
The old
Literally
Georgetown
come through.
apartment.
Come through, James. Please come
Used to
through.
live at.
James, please come through.
Where?
At our old Georgetown apartment, man. Literally the same apartment.
The same apartment we lived in. I still owe like $1,000.
The one that has
No, you
y'all's
don't.
na-
It's a different place.
the one that has your name. The one that has your name imprinted in
It's
the
amazing.
concrete out here.
I care about Trimble?
No!
Oh
my God,
The
dude.
one
Your name better not be a jumbo.
the one you lived at after the trailer, the old trailer.
You need a timeline. Jesus Christ, James.
Dude, I've been drunk since like I was...
Show up then, fucking dude.
You want to come by for like just a minute?
Almost. I was like, yeah.
Wait, hold on. What?
Wait, Georgetown.
Yeah,
Yes.
Georgetown. That's what we said.
Okay, I didn't hear that. Okay. Yeah. Give me a second.
Drive safe.
What?
Well, actually, you don't have to do anything.
said
We
what?
just-
It'd be really cool if we get both of them on. If we
Yeah,
talk about that,
yeah,
it'd be
yeah.
really
It's the
cool.
same
I would
one.
go
It's the
long if we had
last
to. If we had to get both of
like
them.
the far one on the back side.
It's the one you used to live
The
in,
one you
dude.
used to
What
live
the
at.
fuck? I almost said the gamer word. I have to get that cut out, dude. That was
Yeah,
bad.
it's
I almost said the gamer
crazy.
word.
You gotta keep your game rewards on a minimum.
All right, try.
Dude, that was
okay,
okay,
try
really,
to come
that
back.
almost killed the whole thing.
podcast.
Dude, that almost killed the whole thing.
Bye.
Come on, button.
Come on by,
That's awesome.
bro.
Yeah, that's great.
Immediate cancel. And you didn't even say that word normally, but for some reason hearing this white guy on the phone made you want to.
But he does it. He does it too. So
You're
he
right.
talks me into
You remember
it.
when we were at the
That's how I opened it up. Is that we were at the Turf Fest and there's a white guy walking by, and I was just joking about it. And I was like, man, there's a whole lot of white people here. I'm just wondering, and I see a white guy walking by. I'm like, hey, bro, hey, can I say the N-word out here?
That was so funny.
And then he was like, no, what? You can't say that under any context ever for any reason. And I'm like, not even here? It's not cool? He's like, no. And he waits a second, I'm like, well, what about this guy? And I point Mason, and he looks at Mason's
he
like,
did stop and think
yeah,
about
he thought,
it.
he's like,
and then he said still no.
probably not, probably not.
There was a
This
gray
guy.
area.
There's a real gray area, and he can say the N-word.
Hesitated.
Even though he's in under those
I gotta look at
circumstances. Oh shit. Turp Fest.
How would you
Float?
sum it up?
How would I sum it up?
Turf float, turf fest, turf fuck you, turf fucking boat,
Well,
fucking
I shout out to the people who had to scoop up all the dead hippies out of tents this morning.
all
you
the
know?
fentanyl overdoses
Yeah,
and STD
yeah.
fucking situations.
Oh, dude, fucking Mushroom Mike overdosed on ketamine, bro.
Oh, good old Mushroom Mike, bro. So we saw guys out there with hoverboards doing Tai Chi,
Whoa,
recommending.
dude, that
the
was
band names. Do the
insane.
band names.
The
Let's see
band
it.
names, bro. Lesbian Turtle.
Lesbian
was one of
Turtle,
the
bro.
top
Vintage
names,
Pistol?
Yeah. Vintage
Shout,
Pistol.
there's a real one.
Okay, I thought we were gonna do the bits where we
No. We had to do the real
the
bits.
fake EDM names. Yeah.
Well, I can't remember half of them, dude.
You never remember them. Just list
Keep
like Taliban geckos.
So we went to Turf Fest, man. We went to Turf Fest, man. And we saw the Red Bull Tostitos Express. We saw fucking
Red Bull Tuxedo Express.
yeah.
They just play fast. The bass drops really like.
It sounds like a machine gun almost.
It's almost like a machine gun.
Yeah, and so we saw this other band. We saw Caramel Drizzle Overdose, and they sound just like fucking a machine gun, dude. They have this bass drop that
There's
they
this
go.
part
They
where it
slow
stops
down.
kind of like halfway before normally in most. What sets Caramel Drizzle Overdose apart from the rest of EDM?
Is there politics? Is there radical fucking far left politics?
They're radical. I thought they were extreme far right. They're the
it's
only
really
EDM band
interpretation.
that-
They're so far right, they're left.
They're so,
Yeah, it's
they
the-
circumnavigated.
There's a
right.
word for that. What's that called?
God.
Something's square. Something's
Horseshoe theory.
Horseshoe theory. Yeah.
Horseshoe theory.
So horseshoe theory is that the
So where you go up
further.
your own ass? Or?
So the only thing that counts is
Inside
horseshoes
out,
and hand
from
grenades. The only thing that they.
A prolapse of the entire body.
Prolapsed entire body, like from the mouth, like.
Jesus Christ.
That's
You're
awesome.
just everything's come out, and then you're inside it. Fucking. Yeah. Okay. You're handing that. Okay, I remember the fucking.
But you can't just wait. You're waiting. You're looking for something until you're reaching, right, bro? You're reaching for something. You're throwing your jabs out, but you don't have your combo.
I don't. Okay, I don't have my. I gotta find my core. I think, right?
Yeah, dude.
I gotta find. I can't. I gotta play.
Will Medearis. Okay. What is your favorite thing about your brother?
Bro, there's probably so much to say about that.
Well, I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
He's reckless and he's crazy and he's selfish sometimes, but he's got a freaking heart of gold.
Yeah, he does.
Heart of fucking.
Yeah, he really does.
He would do anything for any of us, man.
And I trust him. I really do. I think that I do trust him.
He's very trustworthy.
Yes.
Like,
that guy would. Yeah.
Me and your brother have been through some shit before. We've been through some stuff. I got to live with him for a little bit, and like we got like a close relationship.
Like, saved his life.
I did. But there's another time where he got drunk and tried to fucking fight me or whatever, fucking then Aaron knocked him out. It was like some other weird situation. But hey, Klonopin is a hell of a drug. And I'm glad we don't do that shit no more, and nobody's like.
I remember when I found him that morning, like after that shit had happened, his face was all bloody and swollen and shit, and I was like, my first reaction was like, who did this to you? Like, what the fuck happened? Like, I'm about to kill somebody. And the more I found out, the more I was like, what the fuck did you do, you asshole? Like. So
can I tell that story? You think James would be mad if I tell that story?
Nah.
Okay, so what had happened is I was homeless. I was literally homeless, like a homeless 18-year-old like punk kid. And James was around all the time. And I didn't even really know Aaron that well, like back then. This is before I even lived with him. This is when James was living with him, right?
Yeah.
And so I went over to Bryce's trailer, so I was crashing. I was crashing between Bryce's trailer and Jacob's trailer. You know how that is where you walk between two trailers 4 miles outside of town between each other and you stay on couches there? Yeah, that's a real life thing that happens when you're 18. Welcome to adulthood.
That's a very boho nomad lifestyle, right?
Right.
Honestly, dude, I was homeless whenever I got out of high school, too.
That's one of the things is that homelessness is not uncommon here. It's not something to be frowned upon, really. Like, it's just, you can be a good person and be in the wrong situation and again being homeless, and we still have your back, at least over here on this podcast.
Really? Yeah. Just don't sleep at the pavilion because the cops will.
And don't bum my fucking cigarettes and fucking steal from me and steal my guitar and do a bunch of shit. Like, you know,
there are some rules we're setting aside apparently for you guys.
But this story is pretty alright. I hope James is okay with this. So what had happened is that me and Bryce had went to Tulsa with Aaron for like a little bit all day, and Aaron was like in and out of Klonopin. I really hope Aaron gets sober enough to come back on here one of these days so we can tell shit like this, right? And Aaron has like some Klonopin at his house, and he's fighting with Sarah. And I think it's Sarah and their kid and James all home. And then we come back, right? And I go out to Bryce's house, and then Aaron texts me and Bryce, and he's like, "Hey man, you guys need to come over right now. I want to smoke with you or something. Like, come on over." And we go in, and Aaron locks the door in front of us, and it's me and James and Bryce all sitting there. He's like, "All right, I know one of you motherfuckers just stole all my Klonopin. Which one of you is? I'm going to beat your motherfucking ass. This is your chance right now, right?" And I go, "Dude, I don't even, at this time, I did not even do any kind of pills like that. I didn't do downers, right?" And I was like, "No, not me, Aaron. I don't even know you, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "I don't even know you. I don't know it's not fucking you." And it's like, Bryce. And then he's like, "Bryce, fucking, what the fuck is wrong with, like, I know it's you." And Bryce like, nah, man. And then he's with James. Like, "James." And then he's like, "No, man, I didn't take your Klonopin at all." And then James had his head shaved at the time because he just got back from the Navy or some shit like that. He wasn't looking good. James is not in great shape, right? And so James looks like Will. He's just like a skinnier fucking dude, like about 6'1", fucking maybe 120 pounds soaking wet, and he's got a shaved head. And this whole time he's had this brass monkey, and it's not even a real brass monkey. It's an Old English or no. Here's what it's a side pocket. He has a glass bottle of side pocket, right? And at first it was side pocket and orange juice. Then there was crush up pills in there. Then there was something else in there. So this whole time he's drinking out of this weird, disgusting fucking mixture filled with the pills he just stole from Aaron in front of Aaron and getting belligerently fucking drunk as fuck, right? He's getting mad. And he's like, "No, man, you can't even fucking tell me I fucking did that shit. Fuck you." And Aaron's like, okay, clearly, James, go to bed. James, go to bed. I'm out fucking, Aaron's like trying to hold his shit in. And James does this thing where we're all still trying to hang out, and then James will do this, he'll be like, "Nah, fuck all you guys," and then he'll flip us off, and then he'll go in the bedroom with Aaron's kid, and he'll shut the door for a second, and he'll sit there, and he'll stand there for about 30 seconds, and he'll come back out, "Oh, it didn't happen," and he'll talk for a second, and he'll look around all fucked up, and like, no, fuck you guys, I'm out of here. And he'll do it again over and over until we didn't know what the fuck was going on, right? And so at this point, James has, I feel like he's got like a white tee and like his leather on. And he goes out there, and I don't really remember what the context of what caused it was, but somebody said, we were riffing on him. Like, we were like, James, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get off that shit. You're all fucked up, right? He's like, no, fuck you, man. And he went to fucking shove me, I think. I was like going too far, right? And then he went to shove me. He fell back, and then it looked like he was moshing in the kitchen. Is what it looked like. So he fell into Bryce, full force, elbowed Bryce in the fucking head, right? Then he went to fucking put his hands up towards me, like, James, I don't want to fucking fight you, dude. I don't know what the fuck you think. I'm just like, because I'm scared. I'm like 18. I'm like, dude, I don't want to fucking fight this kid right here in the trailer. I'm like, dude, don't. He has to take his jacket off, right? As he's whining to take his jacket off, Aaron, I remember it was just clear as day. He goes, 1, 2, fucking runs up, fucking full force hits James in the fucking side of the face. Blood flies everywhere over the walls. His head hits the glass. His head hits the fucking window. He falls on the couch. He's pouring blood out his fucking nose and crying. And then Aaron immediately goes, oh my god, we just killed this motherfucker. Get him to the hospital. Get him to the hospital. He's not breathing. He's not breathing. I just fucking killed this motherfucker. Hey, speak of the fucking devil. Okay, James, listen to me. Okay, I was just telling the story about when Aaron knocked you out and you're trying to fight me. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can do anything that... Okay, I just got to the fucking point. We got James motherfucking Medearis. We got twin time. We got the fucking...
I'm not on Xanax right now, but I was.
Can you... Yeah, I do anything to add. I got to most of it. Don't put it too close to your mouth. Just like sit down somewhere where you're talking.
Right on. Okay, so there was this one time I was really fucked up, and I was like, hey, let me take some Xanax.
It was Clompin, actually.
It was... You're right.
Yep.
Johnny Cash, fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So
Here's some Clompin.
I was like, oh, Citizen Kane. I bought it at a garage sale on DVD. That's the best movie of all time, according to whatever the fuck. And I was like, well, watch this and get fucked up. And then about 20 minutes into the movie, I have no memory of anything that happened after that. And then I wake up, I was wearing a white t-shirt, and it was covered with blood. And I was like,
Jesus Christ.
My head hurts like a motherfucker. I think my nose is broken. And I've got goddamn blood all over my shirt. So let me ask somebody what the fuck happened last night.
And then the punchline is that it was what did you have to do like the next weekend? What did you do like the next day? You were telling me
My mom's wedding
was the next day. It was the next fucking day.
It was like, oh, that shit happened. I woke up and then Will and Kamita came and they were like, hey, we're going to your mom's wedding. And I was like, God fucking damn it.
You had sunglasses on the whole time. You had sunglasses on the whole fucking weekend, bro.
We stayed the weekend in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and I had makeup on. My grandma, my poor grandma was so old. My face was all swollen, but I had makeup on. And then on the last day, Sunday of the weekend, I didn't wear makeup, and my grandma was like, what the fuck happened to you? It's like, it's been like this, Grandma. Like, get with the fucking...
Get with the program.
Get with the program, Grandma. Oh, but that's
James, how you been? I miss you, man.
I've been
We've been doing this for about a month now. We just haven't uploaded everything. We're working on it, but like we actually mentioned having you guys on our first second episode. We actually did.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
This
that's
is actually
awesome,
pretty
man.
fucking
We
cool.
both, me and James, just spontaneously are like a part of this. Like,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm glad.
literally, Cole and Mason just came over, and I was like, literally just in a big t-shirt and boxers, like eating a bowl of cereal in the kitchen, and they're like, "Hey, you want to make a podcast?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" Like, that's awesome.
Dude, I saw Logan.
Frosted Flakes.
That's where we recruit all of our fucking guests is in the shower.
Dude, I saw Logan at Dano's.
Dude, I just saw him too when I was buying the freaking Frosted Flakes with marshmallows in them.
Hell yeah.
My neighbor,
Say what?
my neighbor Logan or a different Logan?
The one who
Uh,
used to work at the donut shop.
Yeah, the one he worked at.
Oh,
some-
Logan.
Yeah.
Glow Gang.
Glow Gang.
You guys can sit next to me. Or something. Or you can sit next to me.
The legendary Glow Gang.
I was putting him and Mason here because they're kind of the quieter ones, and so
Yeah.
their voices don't carry as much. But whatever you feel comfortable with, man.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
All right. Cool beans.
Cozy.
But yeah, dude, I was like,
Well, when the first time you ever met Logan? What was
Can
the
you
first
explain
time?
who this guy
First
is?
time
No
I
one
met him was
knows.
at that party when he was acting crazy
Hold on.
and spouting
Okay,
off all
Mason,
that shit.
That's a loco fella right
Give
here.
an introduction to this guy because our viewers don't know who he is. So give an
Logan.
introduction.
You know what? I love this man. Bless his heart. Been through a lot. But can I say, one of the most chaotic, but average and basic. But
Most forgivable face.
At any time, we'll just...
Yeah.
You would never remember him. But also, when you meet him, you will never forget him. Because here we are talking about him.
Exactly.
The Glow Gang.
It's not.
And you know what? As much as I called him basic at work when we worked at the donut shop, and he'd get kind of upset and then listen to Juice WRLD and kind of mosh out by himself and then refuse to sell maple bars for about 20 minutes until we talked it out. And then shit would get figured out after a couple blunts in his car. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's
A
just
legendary
that kind of
guy. I'm going to do this little story about him, which is super funny. Buddha, also a legendary character.
That's right.
Well, shout out to Buddha.
Yeah.
Shout out to Leo Moreno. He wanted to name his kids after us.
He wanted to name his kids
There's a
after
voice message. Hey, yeah.
He said, I was going to name it Cole, but that means ass in Spanish. I was going to name it Hunter, but she said that's white.
I was gonna name Mason, but there's always some bitch ass motherfucker with
That's
a kid named
right.
Mason.
Yeah, there's some bitch with her kid, their son named Mason, so nah. And so literally he was like, yo, babe, can we like name our kid Cole? I know it sounds like little,
That like almost sounds like Macho Man Randy Savage.
It does. It's like
Buddha is like in my heart. He's
Yeah,
my Macho Man Randy Savage.
Hey, Logan, what you getting for breakfast? Eggs or pancakes, brother? That sounded
I work at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
But it's more like a Chicano twang, though. You know?
Okay.
Okay, but back to Logan. Okay, so Buddha is showing me a video. He's like, yo, you know this motherfucker Logan? And he's showing me a video where he's hanging out with him and all his Mexican buddies, his brothers, his cousins, or whoever. And they're just kind of like sitting in folding chairs in a garage and listening to like corridos or something.
Yeah.
And, but apparently they all wanted to, I guess, go hard on some Molly or some ecstasy or whatever. And Glow Gang was your fucking guy at the time. And so he rolled up, and now Logan's like, well, I'm bored. I'm ready to party. I know I just sold you drugs. Your drug dealer just hang out with you afterwards just to keep partying with you? He's like, nah, I just want to chill with y'all. Y'all seem cool. That was Logan to this guy. To these just random Mexicans in a garage. And he showed me these Snapchats of him. They're all in a circle, and he has his shirt off, and they're blasting Juice WRLD, and he's just moshing out by himself like fucking gang.
Logan is 5'4". He's maybe 110 pounds soaking wet, as I keep saying. He's a tiny little guy, dead face,
And
pale
Buddha
as
was
fuck.
like, bro, this sweaty white kid kept dancing for us, bro.
Dancing for us. Hell yeah. I'm good.
That's
I'm good.
amazing.
I shouldn't even be
But
yeah.
if that paints a picture of Logan at all, you know, a legendary guy.
He is 5'4".
5'4", and don't want nothing more.
Don't want nothing more.
No. And now he's got a goatee.
True words could not.
Now he's
be
got a
said.
goatee, right? Over, I see him.
Dude, he's got a.
He kind of changes
mustache.
it up at time. I think
He's got a
ever since I
mustache
called him basic,
and then
I
stubble.
didn't realize. What do you say?
He's got a mustache and then stubble. He looks like Bob's Burgers. He had a gray or white T-shirt on, and then like stubble, and then straight
a mustache.
A mustache,
Like a cop stash almost, or wanting to be, or
It was towing the line.
just towing the line.
It was, but dude, he looked like Bob's Burgers as fuck. It was incredible. He was like, "Hey, you know what I look like?" I was like, "You want to know what you look like?" Fucking Bob's Burgers.
You told him that?
Yeah.
That's so
I don't know
good.
what he said he looked like, but I was like, I got something a little more accurate. It was the shit though. He can pull it off. He is.
Apparently, you know, ever since I called him basic and broke him emotionally, of all the shitty things we called each other at work, I had no idea that just calling him basic one day would like break his soul. He was just like,
That's the worst thing you could fucking call them.
he was staring into like darkness, just 1,000-yard stare or whatever.
Contemplating his life.
Contemplating his life.
Have I really been basic like this whole
If
time?
I-
Like, is that what people think of me? Like,
Is that
the
yeah,
impact I have?
Well,
on
I
people?
would draw these little pictures at work because I'm bored, and all these little doodles. I make wanted signs of the people that come in the donut shop.
Yeah.
So really, like they'll be like, guys, some like bitch will come through and be like, I want 4 maple bars. And every day she wants her 4 maple bars, and then one day, and she never wears a bra, and her titties are out sometimes.
That's your arm.
Big arm. Yeah. Bigger the arm, bigger the attitude. Yeah. And so there's some fucking characters come through this donut shop and working. I worked there with Logan. What was I fucking getting at? I think we're just telling stories about Logan, right?
And also, yeah.
Man.
Man,
Oh yeah, I called him basic, broke him. Now he's growing cool mustaches. That was how I was gonna sum that up.
Cash stash.
Mustache cast stash.
That's right.
Yeah.
okay.
Very-
Can I
very
ask
good shit.
James to tell a story? Is that all good with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, I got one. Okay, James. Really, this would be good for the Thomas situation, but we're not gonna ask that one. So let's start with this. James, can you describe the events of the parties that you had in the summer of 2019, 2018, 2017? Can you describe the great Medearis Blockbuster Mansion party, the Project X of Tahlequah, the fucking James Medearis' day off?
Project
It was
party.
July 4th, 2017 was the absolute craziest day of my whole fucking life.
What happened, James?
Outside of your birthday in like 2019 at Trimble, I think I did 5 different drugs.
Yeah, we did that. I remember that.
I should have died.
I did too, yeah. But you were on more opiates than I was. You were on more like downers than I was.
I counted weed, and I think alcohol is 2 of those. Or no?
No, we mixed a bunch of things that night. That is
Not
true. Not to be incriminating, but like
Yeah. That
whatever.
never
It's
happened.
no. We are Boy Scouts. He's an Eagle Scout. Yeah.
All right.
Scouts
But
are-
the night of July 4th, 2017, it was at the house that me and Will grew up in. It started out, it was like, hey, me and then like a handful of people who I wasn't even that tight with. It was just, I wasn't working and I was really into alcohol and drugs and I wanted those things. And it was like, hey, people come over and party. It was like 15 people or so. And then I was like, hey, we're going to do a little something for the 4th of July. And then, Snapchat got invented. And so it was just like, hey, fucking White Girl Summer or whatever. Whatever the fuck.
There was White Girl Summer over at the Medearis Palace.
It was, dude, and just more and more people. And I was just like, how the fuck old are those people over there? And like, what is that person doing on top of the house? And like, can I get some Roman candles? And more people. And it started out like, I gave a fuck. And then it crept more into like, all right, I'm going to let this slide, but like, I got to get some drugs from somebody. And so it was just like, hey, I'll let you stay the night if you give me some Xanax. Hey, I'll let you stay the night if I can get a line of that cocaine. And shit like that. And then it got to the point where I had to have Bailey Studi literally be like,
start bulldogging people.
Get the fuck out of here. Go.
Wait, who invited you here? Who do you know? Who invited you here? Yeah, no, get out. I don't even, yeah.
That was probably the craziest night of my life.
Can you talk about the walking stick thing without naming her name?
About the
The lady that got fucked with the walking stick and got a train ran on her by a bunch of dudes.
Without saying her name.
Without saying her name. For legal purposes. For legal
Okay.
purposes, we can't say her name. For legal purposes, we should not say her name. But I think it's a really crazy thing to talk about.
Okay. I don't know if this is or is not true. Apparently, there's a video. But
It sounds like it's true.
On Snapchat, dude.
somebody.
Don't say her name.
I'm not gonna say their name, but yeah, there was a bunch of Mexican dudes and I think one black dude, and there was this walking stick,
Diversity.
like a staff, like a
Gandalf.
"You shall not pass." And apparently, she got fucked with it.
And
On
she like
Will's
got a
bed.
train ran on her. On my bed. In our room with like fish wallpaper.
That's nasty as shit.
We never changed the wallpaper when we were kids, so it was just the same.
And y'all were trying to take it away and y'all tear it down occasionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Patches of
it was
fish
like
were
half.
there.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
half.
And then
off,
can you
like-
talk about your mom's jewelry?
Oh,
Can you talk about that or
It
not?
got stolen.
So what can you talk about? Do you want to talk about that or not? You can say no.
Honestly,
No.
All I can say is that, it was a lot that got stolen, and my fucking mom's wedding ring. Not sure why it wasn't on my grandma's. Well, it was probably because grandpa or granddad was
died,
dead,
yeah.
so maybe that's why she wasn't wearing it. But yeah, my grandma's wedding, that was a bitch. That got stolen. Never really figured out what happened.
This is they fingerprint people, nothing happened, right?
Yeah, nothing happened. There was a detective. He came in with the whole kit, fucking powder and all this shit. And then they brought me into the police station and they're like, "Oh, tell me everyone that you know is at that party." And I was like, "You can suck my fucking dick." Yeah, like that sucks that shit got stolen.
How many people do you think were at that
estimate
party?
how you think went to this party, James?
Both Joe and Kiefer Brady said they counted, and it was
They got up on the
around 300 to 400 people.
But they're pretty fucked up.
They were. But it was
on just a normal residential neighborhood.
Yeah, it was in the suburbs, you know. I mean, it was a big backyard.
You're good.
But yeah, it was probably about 300 to 400 according to Joe and Kiefer. That shit was dope.
Do you have any regrets about it? Do you feel guilty?
I bet the jewelry got stolen sooner because
you were having people.
It wasn't.
More.
Yeah,
not that
was
much.
going on for weeks, and then it wasn't till the morning after I was in bed with some chick. I don't even remember who, and my mom was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh, hey, all right, ladies, bam." And then my mom was like, "What the fuck? Where's all my jewelry?" And I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" And then yeah, that was the biggest party I had. But it had been going on for weeks, so it may not have actually been stolen on that specific night. But yeah, that is a big.
James just has science problems for real. Though, if you're listening, James just has science.
Yeah. I've been off work for the past couple of days. I'm alright.
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
Allergies.
That's right.
But in any case.
Okay, so now that James is here. We can really open up some potentials for some stories, Hunter. This is something that maybe you wanted to think about for a long time, and do you think you can talk about it?
I think I can talk about it.
Do you think you can talk about it? Okay, so Hunter's gonna start. Can you start, man?
Yeah, I can
so just start. Just tell a good story of what happened to you that day.
So, on this day, right, I was going to go down to a little overpass, right, over on Highway 10, and I was just going to chill there with my friends, right, brought some fucking fishing poles, about to get a 30-pack, like, we were just going to chill. We were in our late teens. I was probably maybe 18, 19, something like that. And then, well, that was the general age group, too. I mean, nobody...
You were just out of high school.
Yeah, we were just out of high school.
Yeah.
And, well, we go down to the underpass, man. We were going to go fishing, drink some beers, and just chill out down there, grill out, swim, you know, do the whole thing. But, well... A buddy of ours, he got down there with the beer, and he walks about halfway to where we were, and there was just like this little archipelago underneath the
Archipelago.
Yeah, dude, the archipelago underneath the underpass, man. Like one of the
Jesus.
So, it had filled with water, so we had to walk around, like, to beside, kind of like almost underneath, like, the side of the overpass. Me and James did.
Yeah.
And so we're walking up there to go get some beer because our friend lazily turned around halfway when he was to us and was just like, y'all come get it up here. And we're like, fuck. So we walk up through there, and the very next thing that I know, there was just boom. There was just a sound just right next to me, dude. Just right next to me. It was the sound of just like, man, oh God, dude.
I thought for a second, it was like a panther, a jaguar had like jumped, like, or like, it was weird.
That's so much cooler.
Like a wildcat or something.
That's
like,
so
that would have been badass.
That would have been actually awesome. You actually look great.
We saw a tiger
giant
mythological, and then we got to ride it.
But it wasn't.
No, it was a fucking person.
Yeah. It was a full-on dude,
landed
bro.
right next to Hunter. And then, me.
I don't know, fucking whatever you want to, but they landed right the fuck next to us, dude. Like, so I was probably about 4 or 5 feet away. James was just like a couple steps behind me, if that. Like he was right the fuck behind me.
It was really close.
Yeah.
That shit was great. I'll never.
Dude, and then every one of our friends thought that either I had, like, thrown a rock on top of James or something like that, or, like, something had happened to one of us. Yeah, something had happened to one of us, dude, so I start freaking out, right? I start fucking freaking out. When I realized what I was seeing in front of me, I was like, oh, fuck. And I looked up, and at first I thought it might have been an accident, like the dude maybe just, like, fucking,
wrecked his car.
Yeah,
And it just kind of...
well,
something like that.
either that or because I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything like that going on above me. It was the thing. Like it just happened suddenly, and I remember I'm looking down at this dude, right, and he's fucking dude. He's just like fucking almost like convulsing, man. Like you can tell, dude. You can tell his shit is busted.
Barely alive.
Busted.
Like dude.
Busted.
He was like trying to gain consciousness there for a little bit, dude.
God,
like I freaked out, dude. I freaked out. I ran like behind my fucking friends. I just kept screaming like, "It's a dude! It's a guy! It's a fucking guy!"
Yeah. And I remember it wasn't
Like,
Steven Vance, but it was somebody that he was with. Was like, "What a fucking asshole! He had to ruin our good time." Or
Oh Jesus,
Man, that's fucked.
Yeah, what the fuck?
You can't say that about that situation, bro. Like,
I don't
that's
know.
your initial reaction.
Is he fucked up our party spot by killing himself?
Yeah,
he didn't
not
care.
like, oh my
He was
God,
killing
human
himself.
life
Like, what the
just-
fuck?
It's like, oh, this
went
dude
out.
taking his own life is fucking up our one night.
That's pretty lame.
That's so selfish and like I don't know, shallow-minded.
That was
Like
fucked up. I don't know who that guy was. He was like, oh, he looks like he was a heroin addict. And I was like, what makes you say that? He was like, he just looks like it.
I don't know, what does a heroin addict even look like?
Hunter, can I ask? What did he look like? What can you describe me? Be real with me here, man.
So most of my memory gets a little bit cloudy whenever I try to think about him, but I think that's just like a trauma experience trying to like block it out.
I get it.
But I got a good look at the dude, man. He was a little bit lighter skinned. He was wearing a black tank top, shorts, and then tennis shoes.
Did you find out the reason why he did it?
Yes.
So can
Yes,
you
we
explain
did.
that?
So unfortunately, this man, his family had left him. His wife messaged him, told him she was leaving, and then that she was taking the kids with her. And whenever he got that message, he was driving right over the overpass. So he just braked right in the middle of it. Didn't even hesitate. And there was several onlookers that actually saw from the bridge point of view. They saw him just hit the brakes and and then didn't even hesitate, dude. He just threw himself off the bridge.
Yeah. And it landed right next to fucking Hunter.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was messed up, man.
Yeah, dude, that shit was.
So since then, like, do you get nervous around like that bridge or that river or that piece of Oklahoma?
I still have a
How could
few
you not,
mixed feelings about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Every
Whenever I
time
go down there, man, it's like, like I've been down there before that too, and it was a chill spot before that, you know what I mean? And then everything after is just like this weird, like cloudy haze, man, of mixed emotions, you know what I mean, man? Like sometimes like melancholy, and sometimes it's, like, yeah, dude. Man, that tough to explain. Very tough to put in words. Yeah.
I don't care. I'm gonna ask this. So you've had suicidal thoughts before, right?
I really gotta go, guys.
Oh, really? James, we love having you here. James, come back on. We love you.
I will. Great
Come back
time.
on
man.
sometime. You come back on.
my brothers.
All right, take it easy.
Right on.
Yes, much love, me brother.
Much love, my brothers.
See you, man.
Y'all keep it easy.
We will. Later, man.
Dude,
Be safe.
I gotta hear this whole thing.
All right,
like-
cool, man. Yeah, we will send you as soon as it's up.
Oh, yeah.
So we can figure the fuck out.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm glad we got to have both the twins on the fucking segment.
Hell yeah, man. I'm glad he stopped by. I'm
see
glad I
where
fucking
we're at.
came in on this.
We're at 47 minutes.
47. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
okay.
But-
We're doing all right.
Basis of the story, though, yeah, the dude did not survive, unfortunately, man. Like, we had friends of ours try to give him CPR before he got there. That wasn't working. Like that was just, it was a situation, man. It's just something growing up in Cherokee County, that you see sometimes, I guess.
So I have a suicide story, and it involves Hippie, but I didn't want to talk about when he was here.
Oh, yeah.
And then the comedic thing was, and he'll actually get a laugh as he hears it, I know he will, is that you showed up, and so you have this... I'm talking about Mason, okay. So Hippie's over here on like one of our was that last week?
Are you talking about my percussion cap.
Yeah. So I took Mason to a gun show, Muskogee, and all the things he bought a 41 cal bicentennial recreation black powder percussion cap boot pistol.
Yes.
Right. And so
With a bronze barrel.
With a bronze barrel.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought that, and he was like trying to flex. He's like trying to show off. Kind of got a device does when he buys a gun, but
Yeah,
you're
pointing
doing,
at people.
Yeah, you're doing that. You were gesturing and shit. But then Hippie was here, and I go up to Mason as he's about to show it to him. I was like, "Hey, man, when he was like 19, Hippie watched his best friend blow his brains out like directly in front of him, like the
So
same
don't
distance."
show him your pirate
But
pistol.
then I processed. I was like, "Wait, he didn't use a fucking 41 cal percussion cap black powder
Bicentennial
boot
reproduction,
Yeah. No, you might be all right.
With a
It's
bronze
not-
barrel.
You might even process that's what that was.
Is that like a toy from Dollar General? Like no, this is a bronze barrel.
Can't do anything.
It hasn't been shot since the bicentennial.
Since 76.
Since, yeah.
1976, bro.
Ah, how patriotic. So, a few miles upriver from that bridge, they had a legendary music festival called Elefunk.
Ooh, yes, I want to talk to Will about this. Yeah.
Elefunk, shout out. That place I don't know what happened. I heard the guy stand up got busted for trying to sell all of his psychedelics there.
Yeah, I heard that too.
You know, sounds like a great idea on paper until you read it again and think about the cops, you know, putting one and one together. You have a music festival. You're the guy running it. Let me flood everyone with LSD. And then drunk, like a high.
Who would have guessed the guy
That must have been the
running-
funnest, like, little trail to follow back. You and a cop are like, what the hell? We're at Elefunk? What? This is Elefunked up. Is what this is. And you find some guy geeked out by a campfire, and you're like, what are you on? Where did it come from? They're like, the guy at the tent. And so you go find the guy at the tent, and you're like, well, where did your shit come from? He's like, well, the bald dude with tattoos with, like, the TP. And so you go find the bald dude with tattoos and a TP, and you're like, well, where the fuck do you find that LSD? And he's like, hey, man, I got it off this 15-year-old by the creek. And so they go and they find this fucking 15-year-old at the creek just having a great time smoking cigarettes, and they're like, where did you get that fucking LSD? And he says, oh, from the guy running the show. So that must have been really fun for the guy. I'm just saying, that would have been like the funnest day. It probably took 30
A
minutes.
slam
It
dunk.
probably took about 15 minutes.
No, a layup. That's
They
called
just
a
went up
layup.
there and went, just throw it up there at the basket. They were out there for 15 minutes, busted the case. They were back in town with
Solved
1 million
that
pounds
one
of
really
drugs.
easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Turned out the music festival, there was a ton of drugs.
Really?
So, speaking of drugs, and you know what? Shout out to this guy because his drugs were excellent. And I have a little question for Will.
I think we all have a story that we want Will to tell
about some double doses that night.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, you want to take off and just talk
Will,
about it?
would you like to talk about it?
All right, yeah. So
Just start off where you got the acid and everything. Just
And
any
we-
kind of funny detail.
shut up. Let's let him talk.
So the first, I remember it was Sunday. It was the last night of the festival, and you know the first few nights, it wasn't nothing crazy really happened. I mean, it was just like a regular music festival, like Blue Note or something. And I remember the last day, it was Sunday, and this was like the weekend or the weekend after we graduated from high school, and Chris, he got like a bunch of acid from this guy. Called himself like the Cosmic Cowboy or something like that. Like some crazy shit.
That's so beautiful. His name's Cosmic Cowboy.
Yeah.
Cosmic Cowboy.
And he was like, I think he like.
What did
gave,
he look like?
I never
James
saw him.
right?
Chris
Yeah.
is the one.
Or Chris, yeah.
Chris is the one that got it.
Chris.
And then Chris, I think he like gave a couple people some acid. Like it was like me and Hunter and Van and some other people. And then I was like, I think I bought another one from him, and because an hour went by, I didn't feel anything, and I just kept taking more and more.
How many shake, Will?
All in all, I took 5 different tabs
But
of
they
acid,
double
but
dose.
they were
Double dose.
double dose, like double hits. And so
1,000
like
micrograms of LSD.
Yeah. So I
It's a milligram.
There's micrograms with LSD.
But it's 1,000 micrograms is 1 milligram, right?
Oh, I guess so, yeah. You took a milli. You took a million.
We did 1 milligram.
Holy shit.
So I remember the first thing I did, this was when I was like coming into my trip, like when I started kind of feeling it. And this was the first time I'd ever taken any psychedelics ever. I remember I was like laying on a blanket and like looking up at the clouds, and things were starting to get all wavy and stuff. And then it was like me and Chris and Van, or me and Chris and Hunter, but we were all like, hey, let's go like walk around through the woods and stuff, you know, like be all trippy, like. And then when we came back, that's when shit like really started getting heavy. Like I was like really tripping out. And I remember sitting by the fire, and it was like it was me and Hunter and the guy, like the rest of the guys, and I don't remember why I was like staring at the fire like a crazy person. And at one point I just like stood up and like punched the fire, like swatted the fire with like a closed fist like that. And I remember it really
punched the fire.
Yeah, I punched the fire. That's like something that people tell me about. And
this was there for that.
This was like one of the last. Yeah, this was one of the last things that I like really remember. And I remember it really freaked out Matt. Somebody told me because, like, I mean, he had never seen. He grew up like real Christian.
That's
Matt Shot Montgomery. It's
yeah.
What an amazing guy.
What a guy.
Smart as fuck. Yeah, that's a guitar.
A great guy.
And, I just felt so bad afterwards for putting him through that. And then I'm pretty sure that's about around the time I started saying crazy shit and like passing out. And I remember it was dark by this point, and that you and Bryce and Hunter and Bryce and James started walking me to the car, and they said that I kept passing out and basically like falling on my face.
What you would do was you would just go totally limp. Completely 100% limp, right? And we weren't sure why you were doing it at the time because we were walking on pretty level like land, and then you would just boom, and we were like, what the fuck?
Just like
yeah,
flop over.
Yeah, and we were like, you okay, Will? Hold on, man. Let's pick you back up. So we fucking picked you back up, and we were starting to fucking walk you, and then that's when we noticed like what you were doing. Like, yeah, dude, that's when we noticed that you would just like go limp on us.
Yeah.
Are you trying to fly or something?
I don't know.
We
had him by the shoulders, so whenever he'd go limp, he was.
It was
bro. So we were still carrying him.
It wasn't like involuntary. It was like I was trying to go limp. Like I don't know. And so we got into the car, and at this point I was sitting in shotgun, and I was like saying crazy shit, and we were driving back because I was like tripping way too hard. And at one point during the drive, I remember my whole body got like stiffed out, and I like stretched into the back seat and like screamed or something, and I bit Hunter.
Yeah,
before
we took off, but once we finally got him in the car, or we thought we finally got him in the car, right? He busts out the passenger side of the door, runs up, and then bites me straight on the fucking shoulder.
Okay, that's when I was like, I don't remember if that was when I bit you or like another point.
I was just like, oh fuck, dude. Yeah. I kind of like shoved you off, and then I was just like, well, it's me, Hunter.
For what it's worth, I did not realize that it was you. Like, I was literally like, the only way I can describe it is like fading in and out of a dream. It was like I was going in and out of reality. Like I would, like my consciousness would be like in, the world around me. Like I would, my friends and stuff. And then I would like pass out and go into like a dream. And at that point I was like convinced that the dream was reality, and that basically my whole life had been like a dream. And so when I came to, I was like freaking out and like screaming and saying crazy shit. And I remember at one point there was like, when we were coming back into town, there was a hypo, like a highway patrolman parked
near the hospital.
Yeah, near the hospital. Yeah. And we were stopped at a stop sign, and James or somebody was like, Will, you've got to like just chill out and be still, like don't yell or say anything crazy. And I'm pretty sure they said that I like freaked out at that point. And
you freaked out right there.
I freaked out.
Did you go to the hospital?
Right there in front of
I maybe I should have, but I didn't go to the hospital that night. Hunter, you would be good at telling like this part of the story, because I was pretty. Because
he was pretty zonked out of it at this point, to say the least. I was also tripping, right? Yeah. So we pull up to a 4-way stop over by our local hospital hill. And there's a hypo actually sitting in the parking lot, like overlooking the road.
A hypo is a highway patrolman in Oklahoma.
Yep.
Same way, and
yeah.
Our slang.
We have to be careful.
I don't know, man. That's
Gerda might be.
Campus police.
Yeah, campus.
Gerda, I hardly know it.
Gerda,
which is the Grand River Dam Authority, which I don't give a damn about their authority.
Alright, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what were you saying?
Oh, dude, you're all good. So anyway, so we pull up to this 4-way stop, right? And Will just starts freaking out as we told him that there's a hypo literally right over there. And he jumps into the back seat with me and Chris, right? And just stiffens,
Or
right?
you
He
and
does
Bryce.
this, oh yeah, me and Bryce, right? And he does this exorcist thing, right? Where he just like lifts his chest, right? In the back seat, and he's lifting his chest right up to the air. And we're all just like, Will, no. Will.
So the cops see a guy like having demons come out of him.
So me and Bryce, dude, we restrain him and we're just like keeping him there. And then James looked back at us. He's like, "You got him?" And we're like, "Yeah, we got him." And then he like starts trying to like twist his way around in the chair, like, and then he's like screaming, bro. He is yelling his head off.
And y'all are like, "Be chill, Will." And now he's screaming, contorting
the exact opposite.
Yeah. And there is a cop, and he definitely sees us. And so we go, and the most amazing thing happened. He didn't follow us.
Yeah.
He didn't even pull out. He didn't do anything.
He was like, "Oh, there's another one."
I remember we stopped at, before that, we stopped at Speedy's on the way into town. Because I was like, I think I'd thrown up on myself, and yeah.
Oh, actually, okay, so you might not remember this part, but you and James went on your own separate adventure before you punched the fire. Whenever you punched the fire was whenever you guys just now got back. Huh. James said you had something to do. Man, I should have asked him whenever he was here.
Yeah. But I remember I had like thrown up on myself, and I was like, man, I'm hungry. Can we like stop at Speedy's and get something? And James got me like a peanut butter Snickers and like a Mountain Dew or something, and like I remember before I even took a bite, I like threw up on the window or something.
Shit.
Or no, I threw up out of the window, and oh man, and then that's when we like drove into town and the hypo thing happened. And I remember when we pulled into me and James's old place, we were just parked in the driveway, and James said for like 15 minutes I just stared at him. Like just blank, like there was no life in my eyes whatsoever. Like I was just gone. And I kind of remember that. Like that's one of the things that I kind of remember. And then we were like, we can't go inside. Like if me and James's mom like see me like this,
we are getting our asses whooped.
Yeah, that's gonna be just trouble. And so luckily, we went to the pool house and we chilled out in there. And then I had throw. I remember like I had throw up all over myself, so I went into the bathroom and like took my clothes off. And somebody said something, or something just like agitated me, and I threw my pants at the window. And I remember the blinds were like dented for so long.
Like because of that.
Because of that, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was still like saying crazy shit, like I'm out of my mind, and
I'm out of my mind.
And there was another one. I don't remember. I was like, I'm out of my mind.
What are you doing walking around?
Yeah.
You walked out of the bathroom. You were butt naked, bro. You were butt ass naked.
I was about to ask. I heard about some nudity involved.
He walks out of the bathroom because he's trying to get his pukey clothes off, right? But he doesn't know how to do that because he's around. Yeah, dude. So James went out and he had to take a phone call real quick. I remember that. And then he comes back inside and then out marches Will, like literally marching like this. And he points at James and he says, "What are you doing walking around?"
And I said, like,
was he naked?
Is that James?
He was naked.
And then at one point I was like, is that James? And Hunter was like, yeah. And I was like, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
And then he said,
"Isn't all right?"
Or should it?
Or should it?
Or should it?
And then you guys played me like my favorite, like just to chill me out. Like y'all played me like my favorite music. Like you played me Rush and Pink Floyd and the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, we played you all your favorites, man.
I'm trying to remember like specific songs. Like I remember those bands, but I don't remember like specific songs. I think "Miss You" by the Rolling Stones was like one.
Dude, hits acid.
Fuck,
Come
man. That
about
was
11 by Hunter and tell him.
It's like I remember the next morning when we woke up, everybody was just so dumbfounded that I was just like just normal, like just fine, like nothing had happened. I was just like, "Hey guys, like what's up?"
And we were like, "Oh,
yeah." And I remember
Will's back.
The first thing we did was we smoked a bowl out of this like stone carved pipe that Mason had made.
Oh yeah. Was it the face one?
I think so. Yeah. I like had a face on it. Yeah. And then everything was just normal. And that was the craziest fucking night of my life. Like, it was a nightmare, but it was like such a crazy like memory. Like, it really brought us all together. Like,
All right. Will, be real with me. What do you think of the after effects of that? Do you think it's fucked you since then?
I think maybe a little, I don't really.
Because that was your first time, right?
That was my first time
That's
ever.
intense.
You had 10 hits and you lost your fucking mind.
Yeah, I
Went
lost
insane.
my fucking mind.
Yeah.
I think that,
He did say that a bunch over and over again. I heard.
Yeah.
I kind of Sid Barretted myself, like.
That's the singer from Pink Floyd,
You lost your spot.
Like, fucking lost his mind on acid,
But I remember me, Bryce, and James, we all slept on like a mat and we left you on the couch because you passed out eventually. And I was like,
surprisingly, I fell asleep like
yeah.
kind of early, like, which when you're on acid, it's like hard to fall asleep. But
Yeah.
I like just fucking had no problem.
Yeah, I know, dude. After that weekend,
I think your brain was just like, please.
Exhausted,
rest,
Because
please.
that was the first ever time I'd ever taken any psychedelics, like, at all. And my brain was probably just like,
5
okay,
hits of
we're
double
done.
dose.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Man, what a fucking night.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That was right out of high school too. The
Right
weekend
out of high school. That
directly, like getting off that Friday, graduating that Friday.
We
and then,
graduated that Friday, and it was the Sunday after that.
Yep.
Wow.
One time I did some acid, and then I went and hang out with my brother, and I was like, I did acid. He was like, what? We gotta go eat lunch, or we gotta go eat dinner with Aunt Rhonda in Muskogee. So I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't even know I was going to an event. I thought I was just coming to chill. Now I took acid, and I gotta go see my Aunt Rhonda in Muskogee.
Of course, Aunt Rhonda.
I fucking love my Aunt Rhonda. Shout out Aunt
Shout out to
Rhonda.
Aunt Rhonda.
Now she drives a Honda, so she's Rhonda in the Honda.
Rhonda and the Honda.
Oh,
Woo!
Fucking mice ate her wires out because they put peanut oil in
So
them.
do you know why they do that? Do you know why the mice eat the wires out?
Because they have the peanut oil in them,
No,
right?
they have soybean
Oh,
oil.
soybean, some kind of
It's soybean, yeah. So
Why? What? Is
so
it the
the
best
insulation-
lubricant for that or something?
No, the insulation is made out of partial soybean oil because it's cheap to cut the plastic with that, and also because they know mice will eat it and you have to replace it.
Wow. What
It's
a
plain
scam.
off. It used to
Well,
be
that's what happened to my
back in the
cat.
50s. It was cloth. Back in the 50s, the wires were coated with cloth. Is what it's coated with. But now they don't do that. They do that little rubbery
looking
soybean.
shit.
Yeah, and so they know mice eat it, and they put a little bit of soybean oil in it because they can't get enough of it, and you have to replace it in a few years. And that's literally how it works. I don't know.
And we just
So,
all accept it.
This is what's really crazy is that the first light bulb that was ever built is still going.
The first light bulb
Yep.
we built.
The light bulb. The first light bulb that was ever built is still running. And what happened is that in the 1930s or 40s, there was a conglomeration of all the companies that made light bulbs throughout the entire world, throughout Japan, through America, all that. They came together.
The
and
New World Order of
they're like,
light.
look, the average light bulb we produce lasts 78 years. And so there's no reason for anybody buying a light bulb if they fucking buy one light bulb. So we can't keep doing this, guys. So they planned together, they sat down, and like, all right, we're going to make the average light bulb last 7 months. Or whatever the fuck it is, like 7, 8,
So
9
they
months.
artificially make a
Yes,
death on
the
it.
first light bulb ever made is still running.
Wow.
Because the technology, it's not, that shouldn't burn out. It's not that, they do that on purpose. The first light bulb ever built is still running. Like, even though it's like, it uses a lot more electricity, LEDs are more efficient as far as like how much you pull. Like, everyone's like, oh, well, I want to update my shit to LEDs. Well, guess what? It actually takes less electricity. It's actually more efficient and it causes more light. It's better than the green bulbs and shit LEDs are. But the flip side to it is that they burn out after a long fucking, after a short period of time compared to what they used to, you know?
Cole is an electrician, for anyone that doesn't know. He
Yeah, so while I'm
loves plugging in things
I'm an
and lights.
I'm an apprentice. Yeah, that's my day job. It's pretty okay, but like I don't know if I'm gonna go anywhere with it. But I knew that before, or not. I knew that around the same time as that. I watched a fucking BuzzFeed video on it or some fucking
You're
bullshit.
thinking about unplugging from it all?
I'm gonna just unplugging it once. But my coworker said that he thinks that if they push me too far, I'm either gonna beat the fucking 17-year-old kid, I'm gonna kill my coworker, or I'm gonna kill myself. That's what he said. Well, he made that as his fucking. That's what he
That was
said.
his prediction for you?
Yeah, he said that's what Cole's going to do. He's going to either beat your ass, he's going to kill me, or he's going to kill himself. Those are one. That's what he said. I thought you were fucking crazy.
Rhonda and the Honda. I have to go. I took up like 4 tabs of acid, and I have to go see my Aunt Rhonda in Muskogee, and then so I'm hanging out with my brother, and he's like, "All right, Mom's gonna." I mean, I have my own car. This is only like a year or so ago, and And so now I can't drive. I'm functionally a fetus, and my brain stem is all that's keeping me going at this point. And I'm just in the car, and they're like, "Where do y'all want to eat? Chili's?" And I'm like, and my mom's like, "What's?" My brother's like, "Oh, he just smoked weed, a lot of weed, just a lot of weed. He's just real high." My mom's like, "Oh," because she knows about like dabs vaguely. It's I think it's a little intense. I'm calling it myself for a little bit of drug use, but you know what?
Hey.
It's your habit, you're
It's
owning
my
it.
habit, and I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
And I was going to go eat dinner with my Aunt Rhonda at Chili's on 3 or 4 tabs of fucking acid. And what I don't know is Rhonda wants to do a little shopping beforehand, so she's like, let's stop at the little Dollar Tree shopping little center off the side of Shawnee.
Yeah.
And so there's like 4 shopping center buildings right next to each other, out on the outskirts of Muskogee, off a turnpike. And so we're out there, and everyone's like, "We're gonna go in here and buy shoes or whatever," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm just gonna hang out here." Because the last thing I wanted to do was just go stare at shoes on acid. So I was like, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette and just make a loop, just see where they're at after this. And so I start walking, and there's a fucking Hastings. Those like cool little trippy. They sold not the Native American hospital, but the ones that sold like music.
No,
and
so
shit.
Hastings, the bookstore chain in the Southwest Midwest area.
I don't know how.
There's not many of them left.
They're going out.
I think Vin Shock maybe even bought them.
And I think that one I'm thinking of now is even out. But anyways,
Muskogee.
Yeah, the one in Muskogee.
That is definitely it's been out for like 10 years now.
Not 10 years. It was there until pretty recently.
No, it's been gone for 10 years.
Like 5 years.
It was gone when I was a freshman in high school.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Well,
maybe I remember this area. It was in the same little shopping center. Rest in peace,
Muskogee.
Hastings. Then
Rest in peace,
in
Hastings.
Muskogee, on the outskirts of Muskogee, at a shopping center, I'm on acid. And instead of going to do shoes or look at shoes, I smoke cigarettes and walk around. It's a cold winter night, and I see my breath in the air, and I'm on acid. I'm looking at all the trees, and they're all like the dead branches. And I'm like, wow, this is insane, man. And I'm like, just geeked out in Muskogee, like gritting my teeth together, like, oh, it's a lot of fucking acid. And I'm like,
We don't take no trips on LSD.
well, it turns out Merle Haggard's a damn liar.
Turns out Merle Haggard only went to Muskogee one time, and actually he recorded songs on how she loves smoking weed right after that.
Oh,
right
yeah,
after that,
that's
Merle
right.
Haggard's a bunch of songs on how she loves smoking weed and doing acid. He loves smoking weed and doing acid.
Turns out
And he's only been to Muskogee once. He's only been to Muskogee one time.
he's only been to Muskogee one time.
And that's when he wrote it. Yep. He drove through it.
I mean,
Him and his brother, when they were on tour, were driving through Muskogee, and they saw the sign, and it said, Muskogee, Oklahoma, where it's cool to be a fucking punk-ass white motherfucker calling the cops fucking lame-ass, fucking not doing shit.
they what you love.
And then
long
he's
hair,
like, and then
smoking
Merle Haggard
weed,
was
yeah.
like, Muskogee, Oklahoma? That sounds like a place where they don't smoke weed and they play football still and they fuck Muskogee. I'm an Okie from Muskogee. Yeah, that sounds like some shit.
I'm proud to be an Okie.
And it was a reaction against fucking hippies is what it was. It was like a
And then he
fucking-
smoked weed. Turned out it's pretty tight.
Turns out he wrote a whole song with Willie Nelson about how awesome it is to smoke weed and how
Just
they
high the whole time.
Yeah.
Just hung out for I was wrong.
I was totally wrong
fucking
in Muskogee.
wrong.
And then Kingy Freeman did Asshole from El Paso, which is really fucking cool. But
And it turns out everyone got all their weed back in the day from Muskogee. And they got it from Tulsa.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was where it was at. So back to my
I'm sorry.
my crackhead. No, that was a good little.
I think we need a little
turn of
tidbit.
events. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
A little was it novelty trivia about the local.
Earl Haggard,
about
Muskogee.
Muskogee.
This one might be one of the things people close to us have heard of.
Let's do a land acknowledgement real quick. Muskogee.
All right,
The
Muskogee, the
traditional
Creek,
land
the
of the
Civil.
Muskogee people.
Actually, it's the Osage, the Kiowa.
Oh, you're
the
right.
fucking- yeah.
And before that,
the
the Neanderthals. And then before that, the Mammoth Nation. And before that, the Dinosaur Nation. We must respect them.
I would die.
But not Merle Haggard.
So,
Before, what year did you write that song?
it was the early 60s. It was the early 60s, late.
Because that's like the anthem of my family. They all grew up south of Muskogee, so everyone was like, "I am an Okie from Muskogee." They ain't even seen weed before. They're like, "Well, I don't smoke it."
You see Apocalypse Now, right?
Apocalypse? I don't think so. No.
So
seen
there's
that.
this part in Apocalypse Now where they're contrasting the two tents because they're two different sergeants that are running shit.
Uh-huh.
And one tent they're playing fucking The Doors and like break on through the other side. There's so much of weed, and then the other one like I'm proud to be an Okie from, and they're just hanging out, fucking reading fucking magazines and just like not.
And those are the songs.
It's the two ones that are playing the different tapes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So now I'm an Okie in Muskogee.
And you're at the fucking Big Lots fucking parking lot.
I'm at the Big Lots parking lot on a lot of ass. Aunt Rhonda's inside getting some deals on clearance jeans or whatever the fuck she's getting. She likes magenta. She likes purple. A lot of navy blue. She'll buy a lot of that. I don't know why y'all need to know what my aunt wears, but
I am interested. Is she single?
Woo, she's been actually. You know what? I don't think she's ever had a boyfriend. My mom.
What?
This is my grandma's sister, and I thought she was a secret lesbian, but then she has like her screensaver is that guy who's like Spartacus or whatever in the movie. Gerard Butler or whatever. Yeah.
Cut.
It's like Gerard Butler wearing like a kilt in the Scottish Highlands. That's like my aunt's screensaver. I'm like, okay, so she's not lesbian. She's very Christian. But she's not lonely. Like a... Yeah, she's the Lord.
You're lonely when Jesus is with you.
Never. Jesus comes in her every night. But bless her heart, love my Aunt Rhonda. She's a saint. I don't even think she's ever tasted beer before. I don't think. And so her being around my brothers and everything, smoking weed, it's a little new for her. And now she's like trying to make weed jokes. It's really funny. She's like, oh, and then she'll see like crackheads and she's like, oh, are they high on weed? And I'm like, no, that's not what's going on here, Rhonda. That's meth. That is not weed.
Well, crackheads and meth are different things. So you'll figure that out whenever you get.
She's just now figuring it out. Yeah. Oh, the crackheads, tweakers.
There's a difference between
there's a distinction.
There's definitely a distinction.
I was in Killeen, Texas, for about a whole summer, and down there,
there's a difference of productivity and activity.
Crack. They don't do meth. Meth is weird. They do crack. Crack is what they do, and they're big on crack. And people on crack will do things like steal motorcycles and ride them with no shirts and no shoes and pajama pants down the middle of the river. People on meth will do things like put the bike on a trailer and then put another motorcycle on the trailer that you're stealing, weld it together, and like people on meth do is like the physical energy to do it. People on crack aren't thinking their shit out long term. There's a big difference, and I can't really point out exactly what it is.
The meth head will come back from his binge and be like, why did I weld a bike to...
He did a bunch more shit than the crackhead did in the same amount of time with the same amount of money.
Productivity.
Yeah, and that's really what... Like I said, methamphetamine has been a horrible effect on my family and the community around me, but also at the same time, our country wouldn't work without it. I've said that on almost every episode. But I keep saying that.
No, I think it's a good shout out.
It ruined my family, ruined my fucking childhood, and I wish it never invented, but at the same time, we're here now. And it works.
We're in the post-apocalyptic wasteland of meth. I remember like 15 years ago, they were like, it's spreading through the South. And now I'm like, oh, I used to wonder, like, what has become of that? And then you go outside.
You know, it's not like that in Kansas.
You just go outside.
You know, in Kansas, it's not like that. In Kansas, people still freak out about people doing meth. It's still like, what the fuck? What? It's still like a thing. You see a tweaker, you're like, what?
It's
you know
pretty
what
bad
happened?
that we're like, oh, if you just give them a donut and $1, they wander off.
And then Missouri is like weird if you're not doing it. It's like almost weird if you're not. It's almost weird if you're not.
How are you getting shit done?
You're like, what the fuck? Like, how?
How do you kill 300 chickens every day?
But that's a real job people have to have, and they have to do meth to do it. And I know you don't feel something for people, but I do, because I have kids, and it's just like fucking...
Oh, no, yeah. Look, there's a weird gray area with meth that people... Or drug use in general that people have to understand. Is that there can be the most kind, loving, caring people that feel like they just need this shit to get by. And people have degrees of how much they let it affect their life. There are the functional ones, then there's this spectrum to people who let all their shit go loose. And... for me to just denounce, even when I say tweaker all mean or jokingly or whatever, deep down there are people that other people call tweaker that.
And like I said in the first episode, no one's kids start off like that.
And you gotta think the thought exercise of seeing someone as a baby and an old man. You ever hear about that? Mm-hmm. It's a useful thing, and to think about what someone's like, it's kind of like just people watching and trying to read what their lives about just from your subjective looking at them. I don't know, but all I'm saying is I'm joking about tweakers, but I love them. And
you really would. You really do.
I really do, and I run into them all the time. I had the pork chop cookout with a couple of tweakers down at Sequoia.
Ooh, no,
that was a great...
No.
To finish up the Rhonda story, I went out back. There's a dumpster and like 1,000 cats out there. And I thought they were gonna eat me. I was on a lot of acid, and all I saw was lights or eyes glowing up in the darkness from like the blue light of the dumpster light behind. I walked around the shopping center, so I'm out back. And there's just like 1,000,000 alley cats looking at me. And I'm like, I'm going to get eaten by fucking street cats and Muskogee on acid. And Aunt Rhonda's going to come out with her magenta pants and be like, where's Mason at?
Can nod on
There's
my
1,000
furry-
cats back there feasting on my
God.
body. And then I go and I stare at chicken tenders I order at Chili's for an hour until we leave. Because I can't eat on acid. They're like, what are you going to get? And I'm like, air. And they're like, okay, he'll get chicken tenders. And yeah, I don't remember the rest of that night at all. What was the story I just brought up?
The park with the hobos and the fucking...
Oh, that's such a good story.
So tell that one, man.
So I get off at work at 12 when I work at the donut shop. And at 12, everyone's like on lunch break or still at work. There's just people are doing shit, so there's like a stillness in the air. Everyone's, if they're not, they're getting back to the lunch break so that me getting off at work, spiritually, I feel like it's at 5 p.m., but it's I just work early. And on my drive home from work, which is all kind of downtown in this area, and there's a lot of people walking around and stuff, there's this old native lady walking, and it's really hot outside, and I'm like, hey, do you need a ride? It's like boiling outside, and she looked obviously very hot and sweaty. And she gets closer to the car. She's like, yeah, I'll take a ride. And because it looked like she was just walking up Downing Street. And she's like, can you take me to the Save-A-Lot? And she gets close to the car, and the makeup on her face is just like clown paint, just smeared. And then she hops in the car, and she's like, thank you so much. She's like this 60-year-old lady, and she's like, you want to hit? And she pulls out some red cap, some Tavarsky.
You know what's up, T-Bar?
So now I'm driving a late. You're drunk. You get in a stranger's car, and you're like, "You want to drink and drive right now? You want to hit?" You're driving me around up the street to Save-A-Lot to get some. So I drive up the street to Save-A-Lot. Yeah. I refuse the Tavarsky. I say, no, ma'am, I'm driving. I don't want the cheapest, strongest vodka that you can get for $5 from your backpack that's probably been there for who knows how long. Actually, probably not that long. She would have drank it if it was there for any longer. But her name's Elizabeth. Bless her soul. She was a nice lady. She kept fucking with my radio, turning it up way too loud. She loves 80s rock. And we blasted Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi on the way to Save-A-Lot. And then I thought I'm dropping her off there. And she's like, what? Can you give me a ride? I just need to grab something real quick. And I'm just so hot outside. And it's such a long walk. I'm like, oh God, I could just bail. Then I was thinking about my relationship with Jesus Christ and what he'd think of me in the end. And I was like, I'll fucking wait for Elizabeth. So I'm sitting in my truck, boom, 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 just chilling outside Save-A-Lot, watching people go by, people buy watermelon. People just come out, just tweakers come out with just a watermelon. That's all I wanted. I just bought a watermelon, and I'm going to walk around town with a watermelon. Use my pocket knife and cut chunks out.
Just hand them out on the streets.
Go take them back and split with your brethren at the park. Which was where I was about to end up, because I wait for Elizabeth, and she comes out, sack of pork chops and some Tony Chacher's Creole seasoning. Woo! Tony, I don't know how do you pronounce the name. Is that right?
Tony Chacher's.
Tony Chacher's Cajun Creole seasoning.
That's close enough.
Yeah. And so she comes out, and she's like, I need to take me back to the park. I'm like, where did I pick you up? She's like, yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know what you want me to say.
Can't wait when we go, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't want you to go with me.
You go to my house? Yeah,
what
the fuck?
So she was like, just drop me off back at the park. So I drop her off at the park, and there was like two homies at a table, and she was like, hey, do you want to come eat these pork chops? Scotty's going to come cook these pork chops, and he's real good at cooking, and you can have one for giving me a ride. And these big-ass pork chops. And honestly, I was really hungry, and I'm tired of fucking donuts, so I didn't even eat at work. And I'm like, man, I've been driving this lady up and down Downing.
Might as well get
I might as well get a goddamn pork chop out of this. And so I take a couple hits off of Roach, and I'm like, oh, now I'm sitting at the park at a little metal see-through little chain-link-looking booth tables that they just have out there to sit at for families to have parties at, but now we're just posting up. And they have the grills out there they have the grills out there, and then it's supposed to be for the community, but it's funny when there's like homeless people who need to cook on those grills that they're eating off of those grills. And so I'm waiting at this table, and it's me and Elizabeth, and these like two kind of white guys, and they're just chilling there. They're like in their 40s, and they're kind of quiet. They're not memorable characters, but they were all passing around the bottle. It was nice seeing the kinship. They all just shared everything they had. She's like, I got pork chops for the crew. This is what we're eating. I got potatoes, and they're gonna grill some potatoes or whatever. It was like some salted and buttered grilled potatoes, and but the best part is when they're all like, "When's Scotty gonna get here? When's Scotty gonna get here?" And they're like, "Oh shoot, I love Scotty. Scotty's the fucking best. Have you met Scotty?" And I'm like, "I've not met Scotty." And they're like, "Scotty's the fucking best." And then I'm just chilling there, and I guess I'm waiting for pork chops and Scotty, because I have nothing to do on it's like Monday at like 12:45 now, probably. It's hot outside. I don't know what. And Scotty arrives like a warrior on a horse. He's on a bicycle, and he has no nose, kind of like Voldemort. That was the most shocking thing about him.
Nose.
He's no nose.
Yeah, cut off.
He probably got cut off by a blade of some sorts in a duel. That's what I'd like to believe. But
he's one of the
he seems like a
swordsmen.
valiant man that would duel a guy with Bowie knives in the streets. Yeah, and you know what? He lost respectfully. He's like, "Sir, you got my nose? We'll shake on it. I will live the rest of my life with no nose. I know the one whose name you don't say. What's Voldemort? What is it about Voldemort?
I'm not a Harry Potter guy.
Whatever, but we talk about Scotty. We are not saying his name. And so we're saying Scotty. And we conjure him from the and he's on his bike, loaded with cooking gear. He's got tongs, like in the bike spokes, like just ready to go. And he hops off, and I'm like, oh, God. I just want to know what's going on with his nose. Don't ask him, obviously. You're not going to ask a guy who's obviously disabled.
Why would you? Why the fuck would you ask him?
Can I say,
hey, what happened there, buddy? You
say
smelling accident? You have a fucking... You smell something too hard. Morning, ladies, and your nose fucking fell off.
You smell better.
Morning, ladies.
Do you smell air faster? Hey, you know what? But I gotta say, those questions were gnawing at me.
You want to ask.
I wanted to ask, but
the
you gotta
whole
be respectful.
time.
And also, this is your chef. Respect the chef, you know?
What was he making?
Making pork chops. And with Creole seasoning. And everything had Creole seasoning. And it was all good. And I'm sitting there, and he's cooking it up. And I'm like, he must be smelling extra good, because this is smelling extra
Motherfucker
good.
ain't got no
That
nose.
fucking, the guy with no nose knows what's up. This is what's happening. And so he's cooking up these pork chops. I'm like, I made a good decision. out here. And everyone's passing around. And you know what? I take a little sip of T-Bar. I take a little sip. And it's nastiest fucking vodka
Burns
ever.
the fuck out of your throat. Your sinuses are clear. Your eyeballs are watering. You're ready to go.
Primed for pork chops.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, those styrofoam plates with a giant pork chop on it. There's some little chopped up
Grease
potatoes
soaking through. Oh, fuck.
Shout out to Scotty.
Shut up, fucking
That guy should have a food bike, not a food truck.
You should have a food bicycle,
a propane grill.
Something you just fucking trail off on
That'd
his
be
fucking
sick.
10 speed.
You will notice him. You see a guy at the corner with no nose. You're like,
Then
why
I'll
is
hit him some
Voldemort
strike,
cooking up
cook
some
me some
Cajun
pork chops.
goodness?
Cook me up some fucking pork chops, bro.
Oh, God.
We're at an hour and 26, guys.
Hour and 26?
You guys want to start? Is there anything else?
I don't know. Does anyone...
You got
Any
anything else?
fun? Oh, wait, Will.
We got more questions for Will. Come on.
Didn't you have a fun little incident at the gas station or something?
Yeah, no, we got in with that.
All right. So the other day I was coming home from work, and James and Maddie brought me to Love's because I was gonna get like a Gatorade or something. And as soon as I get in there, I notice something's wrong because there's this guy at the counter, and he's like, I don't know, he's just really like agitated and like irritated with the clerks, and yelling at him and getting really worked up about something. And I hear him say like, oh, there's this guy and he just robbed so-and-so or someplace, and I'm gonna go find him. And then this fucking guy.
So this is a guy in the gas station.
Which gas station?
It was Love's.
Oh,
And this guy, that's like the epicenter of the fucking.
That's the core of the chaos.
Yeah, there's the,
I may have
the eye of the
stabbed you
storm.
there.
And the guy that he's talking about walks in. He's this real tweaky looking guy. Yeah, and he's got I don't know how to describe him. He looked like a tweaker and like Middle Earth and like post-apocalyptic, like all rolled into one. Like he had this pack on with a bunch of like different tools and like just weird little things, like weird little gadgets and like just like the most random shit like you wouldn't even need. and they start fucking arguing, and they're like, hey, get out of here, like, no fucking arguing, and they start fucking like fighting in the store, and I just like,
what the fuck?
you know, kind of like shimmy by and like fucking, and the cops come in and they take them out and like start questioning them. And like it was like a bunch of cops too. Like I mean, you know how like the cops will like hang out at love sometimes.
Yeah.
There was like that many cops.
So there was their
like,
thumbs and their fucking
just with their fucking thumbs up their asses, like you know, wasting fucking time, like not doing shit. And you know, we pulled out of there. I was like, did y'all fucking see that? Like that's some crazy shit. Like these guys were like right behind me, like fighting, and I'm in line. And, you know, the lady's like, I'm sorry about that. I'm like, it's not, you know, it's whatever. Like. But yeah, that was that crazy ass story.
I'm sorry, it's whatever. Yeah. I'm sorry, it's fucking whatever.
Yeah, that's Cherokee County for you.
Yeah, that's good old
Cherokee County
for you.
Oh yeah.
We got see the Cherokee County call.
Well, I'm sorry that guy took a shit in the laundry mat. It's whatever.
That's
What else?
Bro. That's actually such a good story. The Talcott Terrace, that guy that Elias had the video of, who came and. Do you know about this video?
Yeah, I know. Very
Is that what
well.
you're gonna sing about? Or no, you think about the laundry? Oh.
I was gonna do riffs about it's whatever, and then I played that. That's what I was gonna do.
But this story is so.
Okay,
good.
tell the story then.
And then we'll fucking okay. So my friend lives at these like project kind of apartments.
He no longer lives there. Don't fucking.
Huh?
He no longer lives there.
Oh well, yeah. Back in the day, at this time, he did, and he was in tight with the security lady, and she would be like letting him know, "Hey, this guy on a bike's breaking in the shit. Watch out!" And he randomly gets a message, and she's like, "You have to come see this." So he goes and checks out the security camera footage, and it's their little laundry room for the whole. Apartment complex.
It's a low income. It's a low housing complex. It's like Section 8. Yeah,
Section 8 housing.
It's the ghetto. It's the projects.
It's the projects of Tahlequah. It essentially is.
But well, no, Garden Walk is, but this is like it's just a step above that slightly.
It's a terrace above it.
Terrace.
And there's this video of this guy who comes in, just a large man, and he's got a small head. That's what stood out mostly. Very disproportionate. And real sweaty. He walked in with some newspapers, and he walks in and he just looks distressed. He's looking around frantic. He has sandals, red gym shorts, and a big greasy gray shirt on. And he goes and he gets to right where the camera is, so it's very up close. He looks around, pulls down his pants, and squats between two machines within an instant and blasts the gnarliest shit. Boom! Explosive against the walls. And he's like hoisting himself against the dryers. Boom! Boom! And this is all within 5 seconds. This initial, like, him blasting in the door, frantically, like, pants down, blast! Boom! There's on the wall. Now you got Picasso pooped on the fucking wall, man. And
Jackson Pollock.
And then you think he's gonna wipe with the newspaper. No, he pulls his gym shorts right up. He's let loose. And so now he's fanning the newspapers because it's hot. Really, everyone needs he's fanning himself. He's just hot, taking a hot shit.
It's a warm old marinade in it.
And they said, and so the best part of the video. Oh, and then after that he pisses. He turns around and he goes between the machines. And he's like, he's just looking up in the air and just geeked out. His jaw's all jittering around. Small head, having
like
ass.
Toy, like
yeah. And it's just pissing, just having the best piss of his day. And it can't be the best one in his life. That's pretty sad. You're in the Project 8 housing. And then a guy, after he leaves, a guy just with his laundry just walks in like a minute later.
Oh,
and he walks in and he just stops and he looks around and then he looks around the corner and sees shit blasting on the wall and like covers his face.
Oh yeah, I would just turn around.
Hey, but you know in Tahlequah sometimes you see shit in the laundromat.
And whatever.
It's whatever.
It's whatever.
Sometimes you see shit in your laundry. You'll think it's dry, turns out poopy.
And doesn't smell really good either.
It's like, did I pay for these dryer sheets? It's more like dryer shits. Dryer shits. Dryer shits. When I don't drink water, I have dryer shits. I'm dehydrated. My poop is blue because I drink ocean water from Sonic. The dye is not good for you. Red 40 causes autism. But I fucking love it. It's in Dr. Pepper.
And makes your kids act really cool. Makes your kids act really awesome if you give them a bunch of red dye 40.
Go Red Mountain Dew. Any red candy. Red. God, Jesus. What? Airheads. Shit.
Gushers.
Gushers. Are we just shouting out candy companies? Shouting out candy companies.
Shout out candy companies.
Shit.
Twizzlers.
Skittles.
My shit is blue, and I'm still missing you, and I'm crying at the Sonic, and I want you all up on it. While we're playing cornhole at the new Sonic they rebuilt.
After the fire!
After they burned it burnt down, right?
It burnt down
Oh, it
so
burnt down.
fucking hard, dude.
Sonic?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
They had that fucking Brahms.
Oh, no, those Brahms.
Sonic. Nope, they all burned.
And they all burned.
And they all burn.
And they all burned. And the Brahms burned so you can no longer get your bag of burgers. What are you gonna do? Then you go to McDonald's, but the price is slightly higher. And that's upsetting. And the beef quality's not quite the same. And you feel like at Brahms you're paying for something that's substantially higher quality, but really it's just a couple dollars more. And you know what? If you want to pay $5 for milk, it's okay. Because I'm not. I'm gonna get like the old milk at Save-A-Lot.
I'll drink that shit as fast as I can.
Because it'll go bad the next day. Just like me. I'll end up in a bunch of hay on LSD. I'm crying in a tree, I don't know why. I see my friend punching fire. Woo, he got higher. Oh, I got kids I didn't know I even sired. And these hippie tents, ooh, in the fire. Woo!
Alright, see you guys next week. This one was kind of alright.
Hell yeah.
Fuck you.
Bye.
But lovingly.